J.D. Vance, while perhaps not skilled in many areas, possesses a remarkable aptitude for generating scandals and headaches for Donald Trump. He recently put this talent on full display when he disclosed a contemptible message online. In doing so, Vance managed to achieve what many believed was unattainable. The entire situation began on the House floor, where Hakeem Jeffries landed a significant blow to the White House with his incisive rhetoric. He warned, millions of people are going to lose coverage, thrown off of healthcare, initiating a sequence of consequences where medical facilities would be forced to close. Nursing homes would cease operations, and individuals would be left without the necessary care to live with dignity. Jeffries asserted that, due to the comprehensive Republican attack on healthcare, people will die. Tens of thousands, perhaps, year after year after year. He concluded grimly, "I never thought that I'd be on the House floor saying that this is a crime scene." Hakeem Jeffries' statement was a direct condemnation of Trump and his Republican counterparts. Trump's proposed legislation threatened to start a domino effect that would plunge vulnerable populations deeper into hardship. Jeffries' assessment constituted a powerful indictment, and his use of the phrase crime scene was not hyperbole, but rather an accurate depiction of the unfolding situation. Any person with a moral compass understands that a political choice, made with a knowledge of its immediate and deadly consequences for thousands of citizens, is a calculated act of cruelty. This tragic state of affairs becomes even more repugnant. When considering the motivation behind it, Vance shared a message on social media purportedly from a Republican congressman, which read, "I haven't decided on the bill, but after seeing Hakeem Jeffries' performance, I've decided to vote yes." Contemporary politics, it seems, are no longer guided by principles or the national good. Instead, they are fueled by petty animosities and a perverse satisfaction in vexing one's opponents. It's worth pausing to consider the profound absurdity of this admission, regardless of whether it is factual or a fabrication of Vance's. It suggests that legislation determining the health, well-being, and financial stability of millions is being decided not on its merits, but on a lawmaker's personal dislike of another politician's delivery. One Twitter user remarked, "Is this supposed to be a flex? Like, your bill is terrible, but I hate that guy so much that I voted for it. Are we celebrating this?" Another chimed in sardonically, "I'll take things that never happened for $500. Does Vance not grasp the shamefulness of this situation? When substantive arguments fail, the focus shifts to form. Instead of confronting the stark data about people losing their insurance, a Republican congressman resorted to mocking Jeffries' hand movements, questioning if he was rapping or using sign language, a ludicrous and racially insensitive jab, serving as a cheap diversionary tactic for an indefensible policy. While Hakeem Jeffries outlined the broad strokes of this impending disaster, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or AOC, meticulously broke down its most sinister elements. "President Trump, you're either being lied to or you are lying to the American people," she stated, "because this bill represents, in the text of this bill, the largest and greatest loss of health care in American history." She specified that 17 million Americans will lose their health care from this bill. Regarding the tax cut on tips, she, as one of the few in Congress who has lived on tips, called it a scam. She explained, "The cap on that is $25,000, while simultaneously jacking up taxes on people who make less than $50,000, while taking away their SNAP, while taking away their Medicaid, while kicking them off of the ACA. You do the math. Is that worth it to you? Losing all your health care? Not able to feed your babies? Not being able to put a diaper on their bottom in exchange for what?" She concluded that the bill is a deal with the devil and that President Trump is deceiving the American public. His repugnant legislation strips away fundamental necessities like health care and food for millions, all to provide massive tax reductions for the already affluent. The tip tax cut is merely poisoned bait, a cheap lure to conceal a colossal theft. Citizens might get a minor tax break, but they forfeit Medicaid, lose food assistance, and face an insecure future in the event of illness. The phrase, "a deal with the devil," captures the essence of the situation perfectly. Unfortunately, it seems the devil currently occupies the White House. What is the reason for the urgency to pass such a detrimental bill? The explanation is even more disgusting than the legislation itself: Donald Trump's ego. There is no actual crisis that needs solving. The sole motivation for this push is his need for a victory to brag about at his July 4th celebration. Following the humiliation of his failed birthday parade, this bill, regardless of its devastating impact on the nation, serves merely as a prop for his personal spectacle. Lawmakers have been instructed to ignore the facts, shut their eyes, and vote in accordance with a directive more suited to a cult leader than a president. What remains is a profound sense of disgust and bitterness. This isn't governance. It is a toxic exhibition of spite, cruelty, and self-interest. They are preparing for a celebration with fireworks. But what exactly are they celebrating? The loss of health insurance for 17 million people, children going without food, or billionaires receiving another enormous financial windfall? The answer is painfully obvious and represents a dark stain on American history. Consider J.D. Vance, a figure who once fiercely opposed Trump. He now prostrates himself, basking in the glow of Trump's influenza stunning metamorphosis from a supposed hero to Trump's gatekeeper. Vance once warned, the tariff charged on Chinese imports is going to be above 50%. Now that is a huge, huge number. And having Donald Trump and the people around him accept the sudden imposition of these new taxes on imports at these high levels is going to cause economic disruption. There's no way it can't. This is the same individual who proclaimed Trump would spell the end for America. Today, he is doing everything within his means to secure his position as vice. He might argue that in several years or, being Donald Trump, perhaps in 6 to 12 months manufacturing will return to the United States to circumvent these tariffs. However, one must seriously question this logic. A massive tariff on Vietnam is also proposed, considering 50% of Nike's trainers sold in the U.S. are manufactured there. Mets. This means deploying significant economic resources to adjust. When tariffs on Chinese goods reach 50%, a figure that is impossible to disregard, a t-shirt that once cost the same as a fast food meal could now be as expensive as a car payment. But of course, who doesn't cherish the sense of liberty that comes with paying exorbitant prices for essential items? Let's examine the grand vision Trump presented for America. A promise few believed could ever materialize. America will be respected again. It's uncertain what others think, but the world Trump has fashioned doesn't seem to hold much respect. For self-proclaimed superheroes who accomplish nothing of substance, Trump enjoys celebrating his supposed triumphs. But this situation more closely resembles a parody. With him grinning foolishly while feigning work in a Chinese garment factory, throughout his campaign, Donald Trump vowed that America would once again ascend the ladder of global respect. Under my leadership, America soon will be respected again. America will be feared and respected again, he proclaimed. This is reminiscent of the era when he embraced a garbage persona, complete with a costume and truck. Now, viral AI-generated videos are satirizing U.S.-China trade relations as tensions rise, featuring depictions of Trump, Elon Musk, and J.D. Vance manufacturing Nike sneakers, or Trump seated at a sewing machine in a factory, proliferating across Chinese social media platforms. It is truly staggering. Trump pledged that America would achieve new levels of esteem, but it is impossible to command respect while simultaneously generating chaos at every opportunity, from trade policies to bizarre social media strategies. While Trump is preoccupied with parody videos, Vance continues to appear on stage, attempting to persuade the public that all is well, and that freedom is simply a matter of paying more for everyday goods. J.D. Vance's current existence resembles a never-ending comedy routine. He endeavors to clarify all the economic blunders Trump has made, but in truth, it's akin to defending the flat earth theory at an astrophysics conference. He just stands there, repeatedly shouting, "Growth is freedom." So, instead of addressing why prices are escalating or why businesses are shutting down, Vance only adds to the confusion. When Jerome Powell cautioned that Trump's tariffs could lead to higher inflation and decelerate economic growth, he was, without using the specific term, describing stagflation. Investopedia defines stagflation as an economic state marked by slowing growth, high unemployment, and rising prices concurrently. It is a devastating combination. Although unemployment remains low for now, the prospect of a recession leading to higher unemployment at the same time as inflation is a daunting one. So, what was Jerome Powell's precise warning about? Stagflation might sound technical, but it's essentially a formula for calamity. Escalating prices, stagnant growth, and joblessness all occurring at once, three-pronged assault no one desires. Despite this, Vance maintains his confident demeanor, as if he's revealing a master plan that only Trump could conceive. And the ultimate outcome of these promises, the U.S. economy is hemorrhaging. Businesses are closing, and people are facing grocery bills comparable to mortgage payments. All the while, J.D. Vance stands by, doing nothing but proclaiming, "This is the victory of freedom." Where is this freedom to be found? Is it in paying more for every basic necessity? An expert commented, "This may be the biggest economic policymaking error of my lifetime. I've never seen anything like this." He noted that the stock market, the bond market, the commodity markets, everybody is signaling that this was a disaster, and it's going to be more pain to come. Everything has devolved into a real-world manifestation of freedom, but at an exorbitant cost. And Vance persists like a stand-up comic, with each defense of Trump only digging him deeper into an inescapable hole. All he can offer are lines that leave his audience depleted and bewildered. "We are going to be taking away Harvard's tax-exempt status. It's what they deserve," he declared. This brings us to 26 U.S. Code Section 7217, which prohibits executive branch influence over taxpayer audits. Donald Trump is once again embroiled in criminal allegations, this time for openly threatening to strip Harvard University of its tax-exempt status. This is a significant issue, as Trump is leveraging his authority to target a prominent academic institution. In a social media video, Trump asserted that Harvard was deserving of losing its tax-exempt status. The problem is that this action is in direct violation of a federal statute designed to prevent interference in IRS investigations. Trump's behavior could result in severe consequences, including potential jail time, underscoring how abuses of power can undermine not just an institution, but the entire legal framework. Gasoline just broke $1.98 a gallon, the lowest in years. Groceries and eggs down, energy down, mortgage rates down, employment strong, and much more good news as billions of dollars pour in from tariffs. Trump posted, "Just when it seems things can't get more shocking, Trump continues to make economic claims that would astonish any economist." He alleges that gasoline prices have fallen to $1.98 per gallon. Groceries are more affordable, and the economy is robust with very low unemployment. But what is the actual situation? The first quarter saw alarmingly weak GDP and a notable slowdown in economic growth. The trade war, particularly with China, is destabilizing the U.S. economy. All the promises of reduced gas prices and cheaper groceries are fictions Trump wants the public to accept. The reality, however, cannot be concealed by such unsubstantiated assertions. Japan has indicated that its substantial holdings of U.S. Treasury bonds are a tool it can leverage in trade negotiations. This is a critical point. Trump has openly boasted about forthcoming major deals, yet for the past 90 days, no such agreements have been finalized. This not only harms the U.S. economy, but also corrodes the trust of its trading partners. Japan, a key ally, is now using its massive U.S. Treasury stockpile as a bargaining instrument. When major countries begin to wield such vital financial instruments in negotiations, it serves as a clear indicator of declining confidence in the U.S. economy and highlights the instability in global trade. Shipping ports across the United States are deserted. Nothing is coming in. Businesses have canceled the remainder of their 2025 orders, one report stated. At the Port of Boston, container volume is well under half the normal level. Trump's tariff policies have severely disrupted global supply. CHAINS U.S. ports are facing a crisis, with containers of goods unable to dock, preventing businesses from producing and delivering products on schedule. The vacant ports are a stark symbol of the chaos wrought by the trade war. Companies are scrambling to maintain operations amidst these punitive trade measures, which damages not only individual businesses, but also the global economy. Another sector suffering is tourism. Arrivals are declining sharply, particularly from China and Japan. In response to the tariffs, this is already impacting tourism-related jobs, with which in turn affects the leisure and hospitality industry, one of the most significant drivers of job growth since 2020. Trump's tariffs have not only affected manufacturing but have also dealt a severe blow to the tourism sector. The drop in tourist numbers from these two crucial markets is hurting not just tourism directly, but also ancillary industries like restaurants, hotels, and entertainment. This sets off a negative chain reaction throughout the economy, leaving numerous sectors and their workers directly impacted.